sealed the deal against FaZe to get here, but this is a rematch now. And if you're just joining us, Rise Nation and Cloud9 matched up in the winners bracket finals. TP, you watched that one unfold. Break it down for us. What happened the first time these two teams matched up?
So basically, the only saving grace for Cloud9 in that winner bracket final was Patrick Price, actually. That first hard point had a miracle performance, probably the best individual performance we've seen throughout the entire tournament, but that's only one map. Rise basically cruised through the rest of the series, and it started with a 6-0 absolute stomping, which is actually one of Cloud9's best game types here. So how's this second series going to play out? It's really tough to predict.
I think you'll tell really early how long the series is going to last. If Cloud9's able to take the first hard point, I think we have a very long night ahead of us. If Rise Nation comes out, takes that game one, I think this could be quick.
Well, the match is just moments away, but before we can kick things off, we got to hear from the players themselves. Right now, we have Benson on the floor with a player from each team.
Thanks very much, Puckett. Down on the floor here with, of course, Looney and Aches. Aches, I'm going to kick things off with you. You know, last time you were in a grand final was a long time ago. How does it feel to be back on the main stage?
It feels great. You know, I definitely have made some personal decisions in my life that affected my career in a negative way over the last few years. So it's really good to be back. We came about 6 months ago, I'd say, decided to make this team. I was figuring out like what I needed to do and who I wanted to go after, and we built this team that we have, and everyone's playing amazing. I'm really proud of everything, and it feels great, and I hope we can get that number 20.
Obviously, as you said, now you find yourself here in the grand final. You've already played against Rise once. What are you going to do differently this time?
We're going to play our game. I think in the last series we definitely overthought it a lot. We had known that last night we knew who we were playing Rise, so they could definitely study our gameplay and search, especially, and we got 6-0'd, and it showed. I mean, they railed us on that map. I think we're definitely just going to play our game, focus on our strong suits, and go head-to-head with them.
And my final question for you is, why do you keep going to Game 5? What is it with you guys this event? There's been so many Game 5s.
I mean, if I knew, we wouldn't be going Game 5, but I feel like we just lose composure after Game 3 if we lose that and go up 2-0, which happened before, but we're always able to bring it back, and we always kind of think like, hey, if we make a Game 5, like, we're going to shine there because history's shown like we're a really good Game 5, so yeah. But no, yeah, we don't want to, so hopefully that was our last one.
Fair enough. On the other side of things, I, of course, have Looney. Looney, you guys made a couple of roster changes under Rise, and now you find yourself in a grand final. How good does that feel?
It feels great, man. And, you know, they've been a consistent top 3 team, so it was obvious I was going to go after these guys when my teammates left me, and we're here again.
Find yourself sitting pretty. Obviously, earlier on in the tournament, though, you got 3-0'd by E6. Of course, that was way back in pool play. I'm sure that's a distant memory at this point. But what have you changed since then? Because you've been going on an absolute rampage.
Just make sure our teamwork's on point. That's what we thrive off. You know, when we have team shots, you know, just trading instantly. That's kind of slacked against E6, and E6 is a really aggressive team, so they just like shined against us, and they hit us with the 3-0.
Obviously, as I said before, you kind of already beat these guys once. Who are you targeting on C9 to just close out this grand final?
I mean, I would say Aches, but he had one good map, and I think Assault is the guy that, when he catches fire, he's the one that leads them. And that SMD against FaZe, he dropped like 15 double camo, so he's the one that wins the games. Pat's going to have a good series, I know, but I think we have to stop Assault.
Fair enough. Well, I'm excited. Good luck to both of you in this grand final. That's everything from myself, Looney, and Aches. We can send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you, Benson. Almost a little bit of trash talk there from Looney. He had one good game, but then he closes out the statement with, we know he's going to have a good series. I think, though, the truth came out right away. He's not worried about Aches in this matchup, Matt.
That was the most humble I've ever seen Patrick Price.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird, right? I know when I was watching it, I was like, this is not the Pat that I'm used to. He has to like. So we know him pretty well. I feel like he knows like they have something up their sleeve, like or they're changing some things up that they know that they can, I think, catch Rise off guard a little bit.
Well, and on the latter half of my career, we didn't have the best run at things. So I think over the past, he had to change his attitude a little bit in order to get back up into the scene and get onto this team now.
We'll keep our eyes on Pat Price, a.k.a. Aches, as he is chasing his 20th championship. But here's our key player matchup for your first game. Hardpoint, always game number 1 in a best of 5, and these two stars have been going off. Lacefield, a 1.46 respawn KD. On the other side, Felony's been up and down, 0.93 KD, but Matt, his S&D has been lights out.
Yeah, I mean, over a 2.0 KD in Search and Destroy, that's pretty sick, and you expect that type of play from Felony. I know a lot of people were worried, like, when you lose Nagafan, they're not going to be able to get it done in S&D, but Felony, a fantastic Search and Destroy player. I think they gain a ton in the respawn when you add Looney to the equation. It makes Vicento's job a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. Vicento has been one of the star players on this team. You couldn't really say that throughout the last year of Black Ops 3, but however, he's found his comfort zone. He has that propulsion, the rewind, and that OSA throughout the entire tournament, just absolutely dominating, something we didn't really see. So it seems like all 4 players on this team, you need every single person to perform, and it really makes it easy on everyone else, especially Aqua. He doesn't need to go off as much as we saw in previous years.
There's a look live at Vicento as he is getting geared up and ready for his match. I got a chance to interview him on the floor earlier, and talking to him, he asked, do I really need to do an interview right now? I'd rather just focus on the game. So I know where his mind is at right now. He is focused on this championship. He's been chasing one for so long. I can't remember him ever winning a tournament. He's been to so many championship matches. Normally, he fell short to Optic Gaming. Optic's out of this tournament. This is your time to shine. You are the team coming from the winner's bracket, and all you have to do is a repeat of what happened a few hours ago when you beat Cloud9.
Yeah, this, the core 3 that come over from Elevate, you're really looking at Aqua and Vicento. Like, they've gotten so close to winning titles, just have not overcome that last hurdle at the end. We have seen Looney win a championship in the past, Felony not as well. So you're looking to see if those 3 people can finally get it done.
They're looking for the title. Will they get it here in Las Vegas? I know how they'll be spending their money later tonight if they do. For now, though, let's tell you all about EVE, our enhanced viewer experience. If you guys haven't been watching on MLG.TV this week and you've been doing it wrong, the new enhanced viewer experience taking esports to the next level. We got the rosters. We got info on all of the players. You can tweet live, all on MLG.TV. And my favorite thing, we got TP. Incredible stats there in the bottom right of our sample photo. You were incredible with the Annihilator.
I didn't pick the Annihilator one time.
No, I was going to say, if he was using the Annihilator, the amount of kills he was getting definitely does not justify the use for it.
And absolutely. The coolest feature, though, we talked about kind of the rosters, all the stats you can get on the players. If you want to watch individual perspectives, we have the POVs up as well. So if you want to see how to play S&D like Lacefield just did in that last Game 5, go to the Lacefield stream. You can still listen to us, of course, on the main stream as well. Any way you choose to watch Call of Duty, we got it available once again on MLG.TV. With the plugs out of the way, though, it's time to talk about the games. We got a best of 5 coming up first. Remember, this is a double elimination bracket, so Rise Nation, if they win this first series, it will be all over. Cloud9 will have to take them the distance for a second best of 5. And here in our first game, we're going to throwback as we have our rig draft underway.
So I know we've kind of debated it over the last few days, Centurion versus Overdrive. It seems to be like the one actual decision we see in the rig draft. I don't hate the use of the Centurion as much on a map like Throwback as compared to something like a Precinct, which is pretty large. I think you can go with the Centurion in this one.
Yeah, for sure. And it's sort of a little bit different that Assault takes the camo, whereas on the other side, Fellow is going to be the one running that camo. So Assault, or slower player with a faster player, we'll see how that plays out.
Cam was paying off for Assault in the last series. Will it do it once again? We'll find out right now. Game number 1 loading up. It's Throwback Hardpoint, the first game in your championship match. Let's send it up to the casters.
Thank you, Chris. I am going to be joined here by, I'm assuming there's an issue, as the entire Cloud9 roster is shooting at each other off the break. We'll have to wait and see from the refs what's going on. But maybe having some issues.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get this one quickly restarted in your grand final. All that hype just to have Aches and crew kill each other off the spawn. Either way, so far this weekend, a lot of intense hardpoint games, which gets me excited for this series to start off, because how many times have we seen hardpoints go down to the final push where a team, if they can get an entry kill, if they can use one streak or one payload correctly, they can wind up winning that map for their team. We saw it back in the Optic Gaming series with them versus FaZe. Obviously, FaZe earlier on against, I believe it was Allegiance, 250 to 248. It's got me excited for what this final series can be.
Yeah, that was one of the questions that I kind of asked, I believe, to TP during the last match. I was like, if it comes down to that 225, who are you giving that kind of X factor, that clutch factor to, when you had Clay on one side, Aches on the other? Now here, I mean, my gut tells me, with the way Cloud9's kind of in Game 5s and clutching up, that I would take them. We've seen some come from behind victories. But I'll be honest, the hard points were not pretty last time these two teams matched up.
No, and with Cloud9, you got to wait and see exactly which side of this team is going to come out. You mentioned not as pretty the last time. Well, it was because Lacefield as well as Assault were really non-factors, right? They just didn't stack up to what they were performing with the rest of the weekend. We're going to see these Cloud9 guys in a lot of action as time goes on. So many lands coming this year. One of them, CWL Atlanta Open, $200,000 prize pool announced this past week. February 10th to the 12th, 176 teams and all 3 regions represented.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too, because I thought there were some nice open bracket runs, obviously, by the European teams. 2 of them ended up getting into pool play, but things kind of fell apart a little bit. A lot of top 12 finishes for these EU teams. Some ran out of gas. Some aren't used to, I mean, the EU events that we've had up to this point, none have been an open bracket on par with something like this. I mean, this is the biggest event of all time, to be fair, for Call of Duty. Some of them ran out of gas, weren't prepared for the long days. I'm really excited to see what some of these elite European players can do once they're tossed right into pool play.
Yeah, and they have that opportunity to be at a level playing field with the rest of the North American pro player squads. Beautiful shot there of a banana being eaten on the main stage. The weapon of choice for Assault. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer for this finals matchup to kick off. For now, though, we'll send it back over to the guys on the analyst desk to further break down this series.
Absolutely. We got a banana break here on the main stage. But don't worry, we got TP and Mr. X, who are plenty smart, and they can tell you all about how this series is going to break down. We, of course, know that Throwback is going to be game number 1, but this is a best of 5. We're going to see Search and Destroy game number 2 on Retaliation. Let's start with this first pick, guys. Throwback HP. Who takes the win?
I would probably favor Cloud9, to be quite honest with you. I mean, they're coming off of a series. They're the hot team right now in terms of, like, they've been actually, like, playing games, like, in the flow of, like, an actual competition. I think a map like Throwback can definitely kind of get a little bit of time to get adjusted to, just the speed of the game and the flow of the game. But I think at Cloud9, if they don't come out and get an early lead, I definitely think that it's one that Rise takes. But I think if Cloud9, this is an opportunity for them to jump up really far ahead early.
It's a very good point. I would say overall that Rise is the better hardpoint team, but Throwback would be the most forgiving for a team that doesn't have control, especially with the Lime Hill getting taken out of that rotation. It goes back to middle, so you don't have to worry about that long rotation around the map as often, and I think that might play into Cloud9's favor a bit more.
There's a shot of Rise Nation, the players getting ready for their match. On the other side, though, they have to shut down one player. Looney called it out. Assault has been the man, taking over games, dropping so many numbers in the S&Ds. Also in the respawns, you saw him 31 kills in their uplink to lead the charge. This is a youngster that I wasn't very familiar with before Black Ops 3, but he has really made a name for himself, especially at Call of Duty Championships when they sent Optic home, as well as a number of other teams like Complexity.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big game player. I mean, you've seen it in the last series. He comes up clutch the last few games. And I think you go back and look at Rise versus Cloud9, like if he actually shows up, or him or Lacefield, like one of the two shows up and you get those good games from Makes, this could be a different team with the winner's bracket coming out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they do get that combination of good performances. Pat can't have a lackluster performance, and neither can the main 2 Slayers on this lineup. But if the ball keeps rolling for these guys, Rise needs to be careful.
And you were wondering, I was wondering during that game when I was watching Rise versus C9, the first one, I was like, well, is Pat just like running around, Aches just taking their kills? Like, is he just like gobbling up? Like, is he changing his play style in the hard point as opposed to the other day? But I think, you know, you saw Assault come to life in that second series there against FaZe. I don't think it's anything Cloud9's changed up. I think it was just more of they came up to a slow start.
Right. First match of the day.
We'll keep our eyes on Assault, especially in these respawns. Let's talk about game number 2. We're definitely going to see a Search and Destroy on Retaliation. Last time these 2 teams met up in an S&D, it was a 6-0 blowout on Crusher. Totally different play style, though, in Retaliation. Who do you give the edge?
I think I'm going to give the edge to Rise. They looked like they're more polished in the game type overall. They have more set strategies. However, Cloud9 plays this weird sort of rotation style, it seems, in Search and Destroy that is pretty darn good on Retaliation, going from A to B.
Yeah, I mean, on offense, you'll see them play super slow. They never commit to a bomb site right away. If they get a pick, they push up. If nobody comes, they wrap all the way around. It's just a really odd playstyle. I don't think teams have figured out how to attack it yet.
We'll talk more about S&D after this first game gets underway. For now, though, you see the rig draft. It's the same old, same old. We're sending it up to our casters. Guys, take it away.
All right, this time, let's be for real. MLG Vegas Grand Final, Cloud9 trying to rebound here after getting stomped, really, by Rise Nation in the winner's bracket final. Jack, do they have a shot here?
Oh, they most certainly do. I think the key factors, again, Lacefield and Assault. We talked about how the first time these teams matched up, a very uncharacteristic series from them so far this weekend. Assault and Lacefield in the respawns have a combined 1.1 KD, while Aches and Ricky are at a 0.86. So when these guys aren't on fire in the slaying department, Cloud9 really does struggle, and right now both players are already out in front for their team.
Yeah, unfortunately that graphic we saw before the series gassed Aches a little bit. The 1.46, a little off, but you know what actually stands out for me on the Rise Nation side? And this is not something we really saw from him much last year. Leading the way for them in respawn, Facento with a 1.15. Now, do I think he's a player who's always been capable of it? Sure, but that was always kind of Aqua's role. I mean, he was never the lead guy.
No, and he was his own biggest critique too after the PlayStation experience. He knew that this team was not the caliber that they should be at. Now they've refocused, they've recentered themselves, and now they're in a grand final. All Rise Nation have to do is win one best of 5, while Cloud9 have to win 2 if they want to take home this grand title. 3 kills on rotation now for Rise Nation as they've earned back that lead.
Well, let's stick on with Looney here, see what he's able to do. The rest of his team picking up a lot of kills. Well, he's actually watching the kind of extension from bike path. No one's going to be going that route, so let's get back more to the action here at Barn. And it's going to be Looney wrapping around the back. He's now got 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 and 6 are there. They're lining up for him. Almost some sort of collateral there as they're pushing through that alley, but not able to do it. But still, things looking very smooth and solid so far for Rise Nation.
And right now, if you look at your minimap, this is perfect communication from Rise. Every time a lane is dropped when a player dies, there's immediately a trade, and there's also someone picking it up, making sure there's no opportunity to be flanked. And when you're shooting like this, 4 kills in 1 second as they wipe Cloud9 off the map. Everyone on C9 stuck at 3 kills. A perfect start for Rise Nation. They've now got streaks coming in as well. This has been the magic of the squad so far this weekend, Maven. A combined 13 streak now between the team.
You see the major call out coming in, 7 streak for Facento. We were just talking about the man and that overall respawn KD, and he's showing you exactly why. The OSA so deadly in his hand. He just got the Warden.
Yep.
He just got the Warden.
Earns the Warden early on. I've seen a lot of players talk about, it's not as impactful as a streak as us casters like to ham it up to be, but it does some work.
It does, but the big thing is, we were talking about this yesterday, Chance and I, so if they go with Blind Eye, and that makes it less effective, if they decide not to shoot it down, a lot of times you're going to be taking off your blast shield. So what I think should happen, if that comes out, you start to pull out like double nade classes, that can be pretty effective at hardpoint if you're not going to have blast shield.
No, it's definitely a good point, as right now Rise Nation have themselves a 50-second lead. On rotation, these spawns will be in favor of Cloud9, as they have control of bowling. They have a player near that back bathroom area, and Eggs does win the one-on-one. There it is, though. The Warden has been called in by Facento. 3 go down on Rise Nation for the moment, as Cloud9 look to begin to claw back into this game.
Let's take a look at the classes then. So you've got no Blind Eye yet.
They're shooting down.
It looks like they are just going to take the route to shoot it down. If you all 4 focus it, it does end up being you can take it down very quickly, but still you're going to get, what, a solid 20, 30 seconds?
That gave Rise Nation the break right there.
Yeah.
Cloud9, instead of being able to reinforce off the respawn, all focus their attention towards shooting down that Warden. Thankfully, it does look like they do get a couple kills as they go for the retake. 25 seconds left on the baseball field hardpoint. And as of right now, it's a 17-5 performance from Facento. 18-5, another 7 streak for himself. The guy is lights out in map 1.
My God. He's going to have the total tally of kills for Cloud9 if he keeps it up at this place. Absolutely destroying right now. Aqua shooting at players that don't want to shoot back. And just close to having the third there. I have to go back to Facento, though, because he's the hot hand. We have the new hardpoint popping up, and he is shooting lasers with this OSA.
Yeah, his recoil is not a factor right now. Apparently, when he's doing this, somebody stop this man. 20-7. Where did this Facento come from?
Exactly. That's why I was so startled when I saw the stats, man. I know he's been playing great this weekend, but it's not the numbers I'm used to seeing out of him. This is incredible, and he will certainly be a huge part, if not the key to victory for Rise Nation at this tournament.
It was mentioned that the plan with Rise Nation was to add more slaying opportunities to this team. Well, with Looney now on the lineup, yes, he's not having an explosive map, but they're currently outslaying Cloud9 by about 17 kills. They've held on to this lead, But what have we seen from earlier in this tournament, Maven? Cloud9, they could be down by 60, 80 seconds.
True.
If they get one solid hold, if their guns begin to wake up, they are one of the best in this game mode.
I want to talk a little bit about the Rise Nation team. As you mentioned, there were some changes that came in.
Yep.
Do you think that getting Looney in, instead of having Nagafin, maybe who has more of a slave-first mentality, where Looney is more of a smart, cerebral player, playing around the objective, has this opened things up maybe for Facento to be more of a star?
No, I think the big thing right now is the confidence in the lineup as well. That old TR, then Elevate lineup, it was like their second go-around as a team, and I think to a certain point it began to be a clashing of heads from within the roster. Once things didn't start going their way, they really began to fall off. One thing I do want to point out right now, Assault beginning to wake up. A 6 streak, now 7, earns himself a score streak of his own, and look at that. The score much closer now as Cloud9 has begun to shoot back.
Yeah, it's like he's just trying to be the counter-attack to Facento right now, put up some numbers of his own. He doesn't get the full streaks, though, does get Trinity Rockets, which may be impactful, but this is where the struggle comes in when you just, it seems like it's only Assault, right? 11 and 17 for Rakes, 11 and 18 for Lacefield, 11 kills for Ricky as well. I mean, it almost looks like it did when we were talking about all 4 having 3 kills. They haven't been able to explode. Assault comes alive. If it's not for that one streak, I mean, they're all getting kind of just trumped big time in that lane department.
Yeah, and we will rotate towards bottom bike path. Still a very winnable game for Cloud9. They're set up here on the rotation. Assault and Lacefield both on 2 streaks at the moment, 145 to 120. And look at your mini-map. All 4 players charging from either side. It's going to be 4 head-on gunfights with Rise Nation striking first.
Well, let's see if Lacefield can find the kill in the corner. Not contesting currently, but is able to pick it up, backs it up, catches him off guard. And you saw in X-Ray there was one above. His teammates looking over him with 25 seconds left and say, get in there, soak up some time, buddy. You're the only one in the position to do so. And now can he win these one-on-one fights that allow him to get out of this contest is the question. But you do see there's 2 players down here he's going to have to deal with.
If I'm Rise Nation, I'm more than happy to stay contesting in this one. No reason to go ahead and feed Lacefield those streaks, as you guys already have the spawns for the new hardpoint. And look, because they keep flip-flopping in, Lacefield is just earning score streaks for free. Now fully streaked out, but he's only got 4 kills on this line.
That reminded me, so you see that like Black Ops 2, something like Yemen first hardpoint, how they would try to juggle it. Like he juggles it there and gets full streaks. I think it was 3 or 4 times we saw him get points for that hardpoint. That was beautiful. And I know it was giving him, talking a little bit about him needing to get in it there, but he's making the smart play. He's getting all those extra points.
And the big reason why, and wow, a full clear out now of Cloud9, a beautiful bombardment spawns the boys of Rise Nation all the way out. The reason why that's possible is because Rise Nation is challenging instead of contesting. As I said, they should have just settled right there and played for the new rotation. Now they're realizing their mistake as the bombardment comes crashing down. The 50-plus second lead is now down to just 15 as Cloud9 continue to claw back into things.
Yeah, but all that great play, this is where you're able to soak up a lot of time. Rise Nation does do a really good job breaking it here. But now, as they hold the back, Facento keeps just shredding. He's broken the 30-kill mark. He looks so good.
He's doing everything he can right now because Felony, who earlier in the weekend was really doing well in the respawns, has started to slow down overall, currently at a 0.98 as the weekend has gone on. He's the leader of this team, Facento, right now, leading in not only kills, but look at the amount of time more than his teammates combined. 174 to 160. Still a Trinity Rocket ready to go for Lacefield. He's going to call that in right away as they look to retake this middle hard point, try to come back into this game.
We'll see if he can find any. He does find one in the back. That's Facento as he tries to charge back out the middle, Jack. Let's go to Assault. He's got camo here to use. You'll think he'll save it for probably a bigger break than this first central hardpoint, but he does have a lot of utility here. We've seen how strong camo has been all weekend in respawn and in search and destroy. Nice cover there. He uses it, take him out in the window, as Facento will now get inside the hardpoint and add more time to what is already just a beautiful all-around game.
Payloads are going to be key as they push towards this new hardpoint objective. You can see on your minimap, Cloud9 spawn out all the way towards that back baseball field, and it's because Felony wound up pushing in towards back market. The active camo now used will be the engagement tool to try to break this back spawn hold by the side of Rise Nation. The lead now slowly building back up, reactive armor used. Beautiful stuff from Looney to cut down 2 players as Cloud9 are in control of the hardpoint, but they don't have control of the spawns.
Well, they're trying to fight back. You saw a lot. You were talking about the key payloads. I think we saw 3 or 4 actually used there just in this break for back barn. And now it's Ace roaming around the back, doesn't finish the kill, hits 3 right now, re-challenges. Somehow he's gonna get both, and no one's looking above. He must have had a little bit of help as he makes an insane play. Assault gets the other 2. Rise Nation is wiped, and this 25 seconds or so is gonna be going to Cloud9.
Rewind, man, so useful. People's talking about it all weekend long on the Reddit, how great it can be, but it's also well balanced. You can trace where the guy went to. That time around, the perfect tool to break those spawns. Eggs now on a 3 streak. Felony does have some words for him as he stops him there. As we look at the payloads yet again, 2 ready to go for the side of Rise Nation, one of them being active camo, which if this hard point does go towards that baseball field one final time, I think camo could be the difference maker in Rise Nation securing this map. 220 to 193 still. Cloud9 within striking distance. What is going to be the thing that flips this game into their favor?
Can they get it done? I mean, they need Facento to keep gunning. I don't want to say he's slowed down. He's 34 and 21, but he was, what was his stats early in the game? 15 and 3 or something unbelievable he was able to break out to. But now let's get into the action. This fellow does have this camo. You think he'll be saving it for the next one, but those long-range K-bar shots looking so sexy. And now underneath the slow wall run coming in. Nice shots yet again. The camo does get popped. He's able to...
They're putting so many resources into this hard point. Cloud9 have contested for long enough where Rise Nation can no longer win off this hill. They will get the scrap time as well. They've got the Centurion to use too. All signs pointing towards this being possible. Will we see another miraculous Cloud9 hardpoint victory? I don't know if my heart can take it, Maven.
Well, Ricky is dropping it inside, trying to get set up, but look, 2 of his teammates dying. Luckily, Assault's able to pick up 1. As he falls, though, it's going to be on Ricky. Look at his teammates now spawning outfield, but Ricky holding the back, just trying to do what he can to keep FaZe out. Did he delay long enough for his teammates to get here? The answer is yes. They just need to win these fights. Trying to find one of the back. Aches can't do it. Who is it? It's Facento yet again, going huge at back statue, and they only need 5 more points to close this one out.
An MVP-like performance from him. 250 to 22. Rise Nation take the map. And oh man, Facento is hyped. What a performance, man. And my favorite part is he starts out hot, he continues to be hot, and he doesn't fall off that entire map. It's a sign of a great player because yes, we'll see players go on streaks. They'll wind up going big through 2-3 minutes of a map. But for all 10 minutes of that hard point, Facento was on point. Him and Aqua lead Rise Nation to another hard point respawn victory. But if we know anything about Cloud9, it's yes, they lose map 1, but then they wind up forcing that game 5 and living to play a long series.
You know what's interesting? You have to get the Centurion down there. You're trying to win the game. It's basically the final hard point, right? But while he's doing that and trying to find a perfect spot for it, that's right when his 2 teammates die. If he's gone up there and can kind of hold the push from blue, that might go differently. But the fact that you basically have Ricky not involved when that pressure comes in, by the time he gets it down, we're calling out he's the last one alive. They spawn out and things start to fall apart. But Facento, you were disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really one thing you can pinpoint on a single person. I just think it comes down to gunfight victories. A beautiful rewind there. That's when he was 18 and 5. But what I just love is he always seemed to get those kills on rotation. He was a great lead blocker for his team. And now they are emotionally invested into this one. Facento wants this championship. Remember, this is the guy that got second back at the AW Champs. Second many a times on that Elevate lineup. So close to getting that championship. Is this the time? They're now 2 maps away from claiming the title. And hey, you know what? Maybe this first best of 5 doesn't go their way. Cloud9 have to win 2.
That's true.
If they want to win it for themselves. Another look at Rise Nation on the main stage. Ooh, those new jerseys look so darn good.
And Facento, in a way, man, I guess from the energy standpoint, when it comes down to these big matches, he sort of reminds me of Clay sometimes. Like, he's the one that's on his feet, screaming at the crowd, screaming at his teammates, screaming at the opposition. I mean, I think he's maybe a little bit more of a quiet demeanor than Clay when you talk to him kind of outside of game. But when stuff gets going, man, he is hyped up. You can see now he's calm. He wasn't 30 seconds ago, though, when this map was ending. Oh, man, he's playing lights out.
Yeah, he definitely is. It's been a pleasure to watch so far this weekend. Going into Search and Destroy, I've got some stats in front of me here. Rise Nation, 3 players above a 1.1 KD. The only one under 1 in general is at 0.98. So these guys have been lights out in the game mode so far, working together so nicely. And a lot of the rounds we've seen, they've just been well coordinated, knowing when to rotate, knowing how to exactly read scenarios, trade efficiently, and their payload use has been great too. these guys are a lot of fun to watch in the game mode.
Well, what's terrifying about this team now is I know it's a little bit different with Naga and Looney, different organization, but you still have the same core, right?
Yeah.
What's terrifying is there was a point last year when we were casting, out maybe during stage 2, where we sort of chalk game 1 hardpoint up as a loss at times. Like, we would just be looking forward to game 2, like, oh, is Elevate going to win 2, 3, 5?
Yeah.
What are they going to be able to pull off? And now, if they're going to be solid at hardpoint and drop numbers like that in search, that's scary.
How full circle would it be if the team that didn't get a 3-0 victory for 20-plus weeks in the league now make some roster changes and potentially get one in their first major grand final of the CWL 2017 season? Map 1 was 250 to 222 on throwback hardpoint. Game 2 will be retaliation, search and destroy. And then in that game 3, Frost Uplink, a map that so far this weekend has been very low scoring. But it's also important, and you've heard a lot of the sentiments from the analysts in TP and Merc saying teams need to know when to drop the drone, play for a slay, before they can go ahead and try to get a score in.
Well, going forward, we've talked a little bit about, if you're just tuning in here for the grand final, we've got $100,000 on the line this week, and it's our first major CWL event, but we've got a lot coming up, guys. First, it's going to be Atlanta in February. Cannot wait to get into it. Prize pool doubling up to $200,000 if you're a fan from EU or APAC. Going to be more action and eyes on your guys. VIP passes now available. And, it's that. Then we have Anaheim. There's some events that are still being worked out that haven't been announced. There's so much stuff to come. I'm so excited for this year. And then, obviously, we've got the LAN League, which we're going to get to, but we've got to work our way there. But for a first major event, man, we've had some awesome matches.
Oh, that's the number one thing I'll take away from this weekend is how close hardpoints have been, how Uplink, I'm waiting to see how teams improve. We've seen a lot of missed one-point plays. Many teams missed playing at TP, and Merc have been very critical about that on the analyst desk so far this weekend for good reason. And then I've loved some of the search and destroy plays that have come out. Teams going with the one sniper setup, with the weapon draft being gone, experimenting a little bit more, not having to worry about having the 2 weapons that they need, and being able to really play the field of what is available. There is Lacefield, the guy that in the last series dropped, 11 in Game 5 against FaZe to secure that victory to keep their tournament hopes alive.
Look at this. I'm looking at the stats. I was looking back through them. Vicento leading his team in respawn KD. Vicento leading his team in S&D KD, leading in hardpoint time, leading in defuses, leading in hardpoint defends, leading in uplink carries. He's statistically on the team, he's literally doing everything.
Yeah, he's a one-man army right now.
I know I'm hyping him up right now, but they print out the stats for us, so I'm like, what is he doing wrong?
I'm not the biggest Vicento statistician. Is that even a word?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm going to make it up because I
believe it is.
microphone.
I believe it is.
But I would say this is probably his best event ever.
It's got to be up there.
I don't see when he's been better.
You're leading in every category on your team. Oh, God, that's nuts to see. So we're getting ready, though, for Search and Destroy. We'll take a look at the rigs, see if maybe we have anything going away from the norm. I kind of doubt it here. We sometimes would see E6 go with the FTL jump instead of Overdrive, but that's about it.
Yeah, I love Overdrive in this game mode. Big thing, too, is how it's been used as well in respawns, but Ricky does go with the Striker yet again.
Okay,
Trophy drone favors it just too much. And on retaliation, if you're pushing towards that bottom arch site, having a trophy drone to absorb one of those lethal grenades can be very, very useful.
Have you seen a play actually made, though, with the payload yet? I haven't, like, in S&D, that is.
Oh, no.
Like, you get a plant down, you drop it, and then something crazy? No. I've yet to see that. I mean, maybe this will be the match.
No. Maybe. It's taken a while, though, folks. It's Game 2 of your grand finals. Rise Nation going up against Cloud9. Rise continue to look hot. They're 2 maps away from being crowned your CWL Vegas Open champions, and they're going to start from the offensive side of things in map number 2.
I feel like I have to, at least for now, go over to Vicento just because he's been the hot hand. Let's see what he can do in the opening round as he's going to look to take control of Patio. Important that position is on the map, and as soon as I talk about its importance, he dips out.
And I love these mind games being played by Cloud9. They don't actually show any setup towards this bottom B site, and it makes the boys on Rise Nation panic. They send 2 back to their spawn right away. Vicento alongside Aqua. Assault holding that top broken window. He'll strike first blood onto the MVP here, Vicento, as now Cloud9 have the number advantage on this first defensive round.
Well, Felony, I mean, he's got to get the call. There's some in there. He finds one, cannot get the second, though. It's not going to be Looney and Aqua trying to hold off on the defense as the defuse will be tried here for Lacefield and Ricky.
That is the round opening kill right there by Aqua. Shutting down Aches as he goes towards top patio. Ricky, though, does find the engagement 1 versus 2 scenario. Looney just going to try to play this one passively. See exactly if he can spot these enemies. Has he been seen as of yet? Yes, he is. Nice challenge by Cloud9 as they take round number 1, a perfect bait scenario in that top bedroom broken area.
I thought he was being very sneaky, but unfortunately he gets sniffed out here from Cloud9, and they are going to come alive. We've seen them come back in so many series, pushing everyone the distance to the game 5. It has to happen here. You got to think if they lose this search and destroy, that's going to be all she wrote. The wall bang, or tarp bang, or whatever that is, coming through. As they pick it up, and Cloud9, that's big. Getting that first round win after losing that game 1 hard.
I mean, I argue if Aqua winds up staying alive in that scenario, I don't see actually how they lose that round. He was so far away that they just wouldn't have had time to find him. Either way, though, it is Ricky who converts that one into a W alongside Lacefield, and again, they're going to get aggressive right towards this one site. And look at your minimap, Rise. They're always trying to get crafty in this game mode, and there's no difference here in the grand final.
I'm leaving this up for a moment just so you guys can see the flank begin to develop, and that makes me want to hop over to Looney, because as he comes through, well, actually, let's go to Lacefield's point of view on the offense, because this is a pretty key spot that we see for players that are watching the flank.
Yep.
You can see how nice this can be for being able to see your peripheral, and then also see through the crack here. And did he get spotted?
I do believe he's got eyes on one. Yeah, he definitely has reacted to him. Does he get the first blood, though? Doesn't appear so as of yet. Objective still has not been planted, so 45 seconds ticking down. It's key that Aqua does not die in back market, or else this Cloud9 team can push right on through.
Well, I kind of wondered if they were going to attempt to push through. But here, let's look at Felony's point of view. Well, I was going to try and go over to Felony just to see if he was going to get eyes on anybody there from the mid patio, but he does get cut down. Now Looney's peeking out. It's going to be him and Aqua trying to make a play. He's tagged up almost immediately, does back down. Let's go over to Aqua's point of view. Pushed in for Mark. You talked about how key he could be in this one. Not able to get it done, but does find 1 kill. But now it's going to be a 1 versus 3, and it's all going to be falling on Looney here.
Looney rotating back towards his side of the map. Makes it a 1 versus 2. 30 seconds left. Bomb still planted down at B, so he's got to figure out how he wants to go for this defuse, and he needs to move quick. Both Aches and Ricky near each other to where they can play the trade. I just don't see how this is possible for Looney. This is where now Cloud9, you want to begin to spread out a little bit more. Make it so there's no two-piece opportunity as Looney has to move quick. No shot it's going to happen. 10 seconds left. This one is done. Cloud9 now up 2-0.
Yeah, I mean,
they continue to roll.
Those situations, I know you want to check your corners, you want to play smart, but you almost just have to fly. You got to go when you have under 30 seconds in a 1v2 scenario. You have to just try and fly, get lucky, make a play, put yourself in a tough 1v1. Looney, he didn't really give himself too much of a chance there, but it wasn't an easy situation whatsoever. But this time they are going to be back to offense. Who do you want to go on with now on the Rise Nation side?
I want to watch Aqua, because so far he's been the one that's trying to compete against the ARs of Ricky, of Assault. And he's got his hands full. It's no secret there that this is a very talented AR team on Cloud9. What exactly does he do this time around? Playing more passively, watching that flank, and again, Cloud9 continue to not put pressure on the Arch side. They'd rather play the bait inside Hotel and force Rise Nation to make a mistake.
Well, let's see if Rise Nation figures this out, because you can see this is back-to-back defensive rounds where they have 2 players stacked up inside a bedroom. Felony should have realized what was going on when he died. I think he got vision on both last time.
Well, Cloud9, they're playing this so perfectly because there is a car right next to that B site, and they're waiting to throw their grenade to blow it up when they see someone cross to the site because they're playing top bedroom. 3 first bloods now for Aches and crew. They're just picking apart Rise Nation. Look, Rise don't even know where they are on the map. You've got Vicento looking towards Curve. There's nobody there. You've got Aqua, who's worried about someone being in his close tree area. Nobody's there. And then Looney watching back market. You can see in your minimap, there's nobody in sight. These guys are so lost and have no information on where to expect their opponent.
It's almost like Cloud9's playing so passive that it's resulting in Rise Nation kind of overthinking things.
Yeah.
And now we're coming down to 15 seconds. If he can get this kill, Vicento will give his side a chance. He does eventually find it. Now it's going to be a 2 versus 2, but you just have 10 seconds. The bomb has not been planted. I don't think you really have any options here. Can he get to it in time?
No,
check.
I don't even know if he did. It's going down. It's going to be very, very close.
Nope.
Yeah, no. Doesn't even get there in time. So look at the mind games being played, man. Rise Nation do not even know what to do in these scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 is basically saying, okay, the pressure's on you. Bring the action to us, because we're going to be chilling.
Those players were inside the bedroom from 1 minute and 28 seconds left in the game to 0 seconds left in the round. They didn't even move. It was just never even cleared out by Rise. And it winds up working out there. Ricky with the quick nade towards bottom arch. And because Cloud9 have top patio, that's going to be a free first blood every single time, picking apart their opponents. right now is you need Rise to change something up, and they need to change it quick.
Well, I thought Aches was going to have an engagement here, but it might be, going to Assault coming up next as he ends up pushing down this A street. There's one inside curb to his left. He's aware there's probably somebody home. Wins the gunfight. Assault with a headshot there on Facento. It's now going to be down to Felony and Aqua. You see bomb planted at A. Let's go over to the 2v4 side of this approach. Felony trying to find action behind the car. It's actually Aqua that's going to be able to open up. They find a second. All of a sudden, this is a 2v2. Pushing forward behind the van. They're able to find the 2v4 now coming alive. Let's go to Aches' POV as he has to clutch up. 1v2. 25 seconds and he's down. How do you let that happen?
It's beautifully played by Felony. I mean, the guy saw the first player at the close car. We were watching from his perspective as he called it out to Aqua. Once he gets that help, he doesn't play passive. They charge up the street. They catch one player in midair. He knew the other one was on the close van. And then H is sitting in the most, well, obvious corner. Look, Felony just knows. Yeah, okay, there he is. Boom. Easy reads. It could be more of an obvious play in that 1v2.
It's crucial for a couple of reasons. One, you get the round one, obviously, but then he's your camo player. You know how important it is for your camo player to go off. We've seen how many rounds it can change, and this puts him at 4 and 3, and look how much closer he is. 3 plus the defuse. He was nowhere close. He was probably a quarter of the way into this.
Not only does he stop the streaks, too, of Cloud9 that were being earned, the guy now also has a scarab of his own if he can get one more kill. So a small momentum swing, but overall, Cloud9 still outplaying their opponents for the majority of this map, as they're going to look to play passively again, not charging out through bottom arches. The difference this time, the objective should go down here by Looney.
I feel like we haven't really seen a team play defense like this, at least consistently, like doing it every round. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Central spot at 1, though.
And because there's nobody inside bedroom this time, Rise Nation actually are able to penetrate the setup. They get a player inside the top bedroom area, 3v2 advantage. This is all the signs of it being a Rise Nation round, unless there's some sort of collapse. And no, it's not going to happen. Lacefield 1v3.
Lacefield 1v3. If he could have found that one, maybe there's some sort of hope for them, but no. Rise come fighting back in this. The one ray of hope, I suppose, for C9, and this is that you didn't. I don't think he got the scarab. I don't think he's working towards streaks. You know, you get everybody dropped. You get Felony dropped, so that stops any sort of build and momentum there. But
one thing I do want to point out
back quickly
this weekend on Scorch, Rise Nation 100% win percentage on this map. They're feeling very, very confident. On Retaliation, I'm pointing out some of the notes on them. Retaliation 100% win percentage as well for Rise Nation. So this is a map that they're not used to being down in. 3v3, now the numbers as play continues to develop. Lacefield with a quick 2-piece to bring the number advantage over to Cloud9 as he gets 3. And do people just not care that he's sitting top patio?
Let's stick with him for now. Let's see if he can get the ace. It's just going to be Aqua now to deal with him. It'll be the 1v3 for Aqua, or possibly the ace here for Lacefield. And the gunfight's going to go down now. He peeks in, tries to turn, not able to get it done. So let's go over to Aqua now. 1v2, 50 seconds up. Bomb still not planted, but I believe we are in process of that now. Yep, so going to get going. And now let's check out Aqua. Now, interesting enough, see, if he doesn't have overdrive, you think he gets 1 kill. If that's camo or reactive, he's got a pretty good chance to clutch this up.
Yeah, this time a little bit different, though, as he's going to take the long route. Still rotating towards this new site. 30 seconds remaining. Aqua leading his team right now alongside Felony at 5 kills. He's got to check every corner, too, and he does have actually the time to work with. That's all the information he needs. He knows where 2 players are, so he's going to try to play this first engagement. Both players just bait and switching themselves. They know he's got an NB4 too, so he can't just charge forward. Cloud9, they're just messing with him at this point. Turns back around, burns the overdrive too. Not the right call. A panic scenario there for Aqua as he goes ahead and burns his payload.
I guess he thinks if the player challenges this, he can kind of use that AW dash, you know, that movement there to get away with the overdrive, and then with the overdrive, enough time to bounce back to the bomb really quick.
Yeah, but
I mean, I see the line of thinking, but that would have been insane clutch if it worked.
It would have. It would have. I think it's a little bit of a difference when you're using that when there's 10 seconds remaining versus maybe using that when there's 15. Then he knows the player was out that outer wall run. He could try to chase him down. There, though, not the story. Cloud9 stop the bleeding, and they retake a 2-round lead in this game as, again, they send nobody through that bottom arch side. They give up the B site as they're just way more confident in playing for a retake.
But the flank comes in quickly, and that is Aches pushing in through their back curb and picking one up. They were not prepared for that at all, because to be frank, we haven't seen it at all. As much as we were talking about Cloud9's consistency with how they were actually holding inside a bedroom, they haven't flanked at all. They just weren't ready.
What's been the magic for Rise Nation so far this weekend is their ability to read situations and just not get caught off guard. And so far this entire map, it seems like they're just not paying attention to the flank. They're easily being broken down in the setups that they have, and it's just uncharacteristic of a team that got to this point in the grand finals. First challenge comes in. Aqua still playing the corner, gets out with his life as well. This should not be happening.
Did he not call him out in that corner? He walks into
Aqua wins the 1v2. He's in the corner. Where else did he go?
Yeah, well, you saw him from patio. Did you not tell your teammate flying at a bike like Aladdin that he was sitting in the corner?
Like Aladdin?
Yeah, the magic carpet dude, Soren.
Okay, well, you know, I'll give you that one. He did kind of look like that. He checked every corner but the close one. And that's a choke, in my opinion, if you're Cloud9. An opportunity now for Rise Nation to strike as they're within one round yet again. And they have defense. Payloads, none available for either team. You can see Lacefield, if he does get a kill, he will have that reactive armor, though, which could be a beautiful tool to swing around in his team's favor.
Now we saw around, I think, I want to
very
say
similar.
Maybe their first round that we saw come in from Rise Nation. Now similar to what we saw from Cloud9. Let's see how it bodes for them. You still see the number 4 in your minimap. That's Aqua going to be holding way top marquee on for that position to be. The flank does come in. That's Looney able to take it. Might be able to tie it up in this series behind the first blood, but I don't think he's ready for this. You have Vicento set up back by Broken.
They need Vicento to catch up with the pace of his teammate. He's going to go all the way around towards the back, and this is a perfect read by Vicento. The guy's been lights out. He's got to call it out to his teammate. No assist yet.
And he dies.
How does Looney die to that player?
I don't know. You got to think with the call out coming in, you're able to pull this off. But now a possible clutch, maybe a 1v3 here for Eggs. He has rewind to work with. He's got to know where Vicento's coming from. His teammate would have called it out there by Broken. And now with 15 seconds, Patrick Price just has to hold on. He doesn't check the corner, and there it is for Patrick.
Apparently, teams have decided to throw away the last 2 S&D rounds because they just look clueless right there. Eggs beautifully done. Well, Vicento thinks he checks the corner.
Exactly. Let's say you see him kind of jiggle peek like he does check it there. Just doesn't get enough of that corner. He's tucked away too strong. There have been some odd rounds though, right? Or odd conclusions to rounds?
Especially the last 2. They just give that one up for free to Eggs, and this is where you begin to call into question nerves in this final. These are the guys that have gotten second so many darn times that they're making uncharacteristic plays right there. The second player goes soaring out of top bedroom window when there's nobody close for a trade. If they play it more passively, they win that round. Another first blood here for Ricky. Thankfully, Looney's there to lend a helping hand. 1 minute remaining in this side as Assault picks up another kill.
And you got to think about reactive armor here. I mean, this is your last round to really make a play. He's able to find one, tie this up now at 2-2. So Looney has that work with. Lacefield, if he finds a kill, will then also have it.
This is what's worked so well for Cloud9 earlier in this map. Just go ahead, sit inside bedroom, and wait for your opponents to make something happen. Looney decides he will be the one to initiate that action. Plants the objective, has himself that reactive armor. As Aqua does see 2 crossing. Looney, he should use this payload. You've got to force the rounds to go on. He does pop it. Woo! It was a little bit closer than you would have wanted to see.
Shaky.
I could see your reaction there. Like, okay. Not as clean as you would have wanted, but either way, we will see around 10.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a 2v2, you have bomb planted. Could you have maybe won that without it? Sure, but get the round. Secure the round and move forward. But remember, on the other side, Lacefield just a kill away from hopping into his reactive as well. That is my key to probably close this one out, and that's who I'm going to watch. If he can get anything going here to fire off this reactive, he might be able to shut it down. You do still have rewind available on Vicento, and actually this could be clutch too. Look how close Felony is to that camo.
Yeah, but if he gets first blooded, that's a tool not to have. Aqua opens it up. Number advantage now to Rise, and look at Cloud9. They're just sprinting back on the map. They know they have no positioning, and look at your mini-map. Vicento, the MVP, playing a sneaky beaver role, making Puckett very, very proud as he's looking to further put his team at an advantage here. He's checking literally every single corner to a point where it might backfire. There you go. Free one in front of him, 4v2. Rise about to force the round 11, unless somehow they can clutch a 2v4.
And now as we switch over to Lacefield, since he's able to pick up some points, he is going to find the reactive armor. Does he decide to maybe close it out here or save it for a round 11 is the question. You see bunched up right now. You've got the side of Rise Nation. They're really doing a good job playing together.
I think this timing's going to work out for them. If they keep rotating at this pace, they should be able to spot him mid-objective focus. There's one. there it is. Round 11.
That was stressful, right?
Yeah, but Rise Nation, again, once you get the number advantage, the best thing you can do in Search and Destroy, stay active. They do just that. And not only will, I believe, earn the camo, but potentially a second payload as well. Round 11, S&D wins championships. This is for Rise to go up 2-0 in your grand finals, or for Cloud9 to tie it up. And yes, they not only earn a second payload, but a third as well. So many tools to work with. And again, Lacefield does not use his reactive armor. You've got to use this to open this round. You cannot die if you're felony.
Well, the problem is he's got to get some points here to actually activate it. Is Lacefield just under? Now, as he's jammed up, not going to be able to use camo. Here it goes. He wants to use, try and make a play, but look at the minimap. Look at the minimap. They're all rotating back. This might end up being burned unless he can find this one kill.
He's got to go quick.
Oh, he has to fly at him. He doesn't see him yet. Give him one kill with it, surely. Felony able to pick it up, and there he turns. Tags up a second, but can't close the kill. 4v3, make it a 3v3. Aqua uses overdrive to get back to the action. Now there's 2 players left. It's Lacefield with reactive armor coming in from behind. He's able to get it. Now it's going to be a 2v2. Facento and Aqua going up against Lacefield and Assault. Assault almost got this game.
Oh my God, he's playing at the
Almost got
perfect
the camo.
angle. Gets the kill, but it's traded immediately. Facento and Lacefield, the 2 superstars of these teams this weekend. Time ticking down. Facento does have to check this objective. How does Lacefield play? He's looking for the kill. Facento spots him! Rise Nation win the map, and they're now 1 game away from being crowned your CWL Vegas Open champion.
Who else? Who else?
It's only right, man. It's only right. He's lights out, and ooh, look at that death stare from Facento across the stage. I love it, man. I love it.
God, what an insane round, because you saw, the camo got popped, then to get back to the action, I believe the overdrive got popped by Aqua to try and get back in the fight, then you saw immediately go to Lacefield. Lacefield has the reactive armor pop, like everything just went blah, blah, blah. And we saw a lot of it, but it was an insane round, but it ends up coming down to that 1v1, and Facento, again, man, MVP right now.
And what did I say? The difference that Rise Nation have had above other teams in Search and Destroy, their ability to trade. If they don't have Facento there right away to trade out that kill, you've now got Assault with active camo. Here's another look at it. Gets the kill, camo earned, dead.
Yep.
Instantly. And that right there, for me, is what secures that map. At that point, Facento just has to burn about, 16 seconds. He knows that Lacefield probably chased down the trade, reads it perfectly. It's things like that that separate second place finishes from grand champions.
But we got to talk about Aqua. I know we're focusing on Facento clutching up, but Aqua ends up dropping 13 kills. He had, I think, like an 8-0 start and a crusher in a big game 5, I believe, earlier. Sorry, it might have been a game 2, but he's had a lot of just really good performances in Search. What has his KD actually been? So Aqua's a 1.1. Well, really everyone you mentioned, their S&D stats are kind of wild. This goes to a game 5. Very good, but I think it's done. I think they're going to close it out.
They've now won 80% of their Search and Destroys this weekend, so it's been their go-to game mode. And when typically on the other side, Cloud9, they've won 66% of theirs, so it's their best game mode as well. When Rise Nation take that, they're now going into Cloud9's weakest game mode. 28% win rate in uplink this weekend for Cloud9. Absolutely abysmal, probably one of the worst of the top placing teams this weekend. If you are Rise Nation, you need to close the door now. Do not give Aches and crew a chance to get into another hard point and potentially force their 912th game 5 of this weekend.
And when you think about this squad, right? Formerly Team Revenge, great at uplink. Elevate, great to good at uplink throughout the course of last year, and they've started off hot here. It ends now. And unless you get some Cloud9 magic, it's ending here in 3-0 fashion, and that would put, what, a 6-1 map count for Rise Nation over Cloud9? That's one hell of a stamp.
Oh, most certainly is. There's Assault, the young talent led by 2 veteran players, as we continue to await this start of map number 3. If I'm Cloud9 right now, I'm kicking myself. I'm saying that was a map that, if you think a couple rounds thrown away really by either team, but the one that stands out is that 1v2 where you just saw the players sit in the corner and both Cloud9 players ran right into him.
So looking at this, Rise Nation, obviously a ton of potential. We've seen how good they are. They're looking poised to win the event. But as we move forward and we, Atlanta in February, Cloud9, I think it was you, or I can't remember who said if this team doesn't perform well this weekend, they could break up.
Yeah.
But with getting second, you got to think this is the team they're going to have going to Atlanta. Like, there's no way you have a change here, right?
The main thing I brought up was this Cloud9 team, if they don't beat Optic at Champs, I think that they're what it might.
Oh, okay. All right.
With them beating them, that's why they stick together. They know the potential this team has. They've now made themselves get into a grand final. But you know, Aches doesn't take losing grand finals lightly. So they're going to put on the pressure this map. Frost has been a very tense, very low-scoring uplink map where literally every kill and decision matters. And we've seen interceptions, more on this map than any other, I would argue, because of how players fight from that bottom ship area. They know exactly where to position themselves. This one I could see going either way.
And it's just different. It's not like something like Infection last year where you could spawn them what seems like 100 feet away from the portal. You're still spawning, for the most part, because you don't get a lot of those 4 downs and breaks, you're spawning on your portal. So I think that's a big part of the reason these interceptions become a lot easier. And the fact, I still can't figure out if it's like the size of the portal with the comparison to the bodies in this game, but it seems like if you're in front of it, you're getting the interception, like, no matter what. It's kind of seemed that way. Like, you kind of cover the entire thing. You're Ron Weasley and Harry Potter. He was a great goal. You don't watch Harry Potter, do you?
Oh, I have, but I'm just going to pretend like you didn't mention that comment. One thing I do want to say, Rise Nation, this is actually their worst game mode too. So don't put all the flack on Cloud9. Yes, they are pretty darn bad at it, but Rise Nation, they've split their uplinks so far this weekend compared to their other game modes where they've been very dominant in Hardpoint as well as S&D. We're now in the rig draft, though, for game number 3. This could be the final map of the CWL Vegas Open.
Jack Courage Dunlop.
Yes.
Does it end here?
Yes. I think Rise Nation close it out. I actually think that this is a pretty high-scoring one in their favor. I just think they have the momentum, man. They clutched up in round 11. They want this now. It's their time to be crowned champions, to break the curse that Aqua as well as Vicento have had. They were the duo in the last map. They've been the duo all weekend, and it's now time for the cherry on top.
Well, we're going to be starting this one off with Vicento. I've got to. He's been a beast. We'll see if him and Aqua can keep riding the wave that they've created here over the course of this grand final. Let's get right into it here. This could be the final game for Cloud9 versus Rise Nation. We'll see the first gunfight coming up mid-map. Is Vicento starting to wrap back, but his teammate drops next to him. He is able to trade it back and get into research.
Yeah, already with some great map positioning. Vicento just lights out with these shots. 3 do go dead on Cloud9 as he continues to push right up. But yes, they do have the right idea where they drop the drone and flood up the map, but now it's just nowhere in sight. They still are trying to contest towards this bottom blue area. It's Felony taking down 2. Now Looney's just got to stay here. Now he's got to play for the kills off respawn, but Assault somehow gets a 2-piece middle map with both players knowing where he is.
Yeah, I was staring at that. He was out on Ridge, and he picks up both that we're going to end up pushing out. If they get that kill, I stuck with Looney because he was the one kind of influencing the spawns. If he keeps picking up kills and making this a headache, they're going to get points on the board. But his OSA, we talked about it. It got nerfed a little bit harder to control. It does not look more difficult for him to control.
Kobe right there from Looney as that flechette grenade, if it hits you dead on, does instant explode and get you that free kill. Drone being moved up by Aqua. He's got no lead blockers, so a little bit of a pacing issue there. But Vicento, dude, what doesn't this guy do? Counts as the one either way, gets the kill, then the beatdown, and the score. Rise Nation in the lead.
It's everything. Like I said, I was reading off the stats. It's like every single category, he's been just a beast.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be the offensive opportunity here for Cloud9. We'll switch focus onto Ricky, get tagged up from behind, or sorry, from the front, gets taken down almost immediately. And that leaves Aches and Assault kind of hanging here to slow down the counterattack potential from Rise Nation. You saw the lower wall run was hit by Looney. He's trying to
go back. Yep, perfect. Go back towards your teammate. They can actually develop a push off this. Doesn't have the lead blockers there in time. 3 do go dead for Rise. So Aqua's job, try to stall out this push for as long as possible. And the drone actually hangs onto the wall, so it doesn't reset. Assault will pick this one on up. I don't actually think it'll benefit them at all because Rise were there. Middle map control was for Cloud9.
If that turned into 1 point, though, that would have been kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah, but instead, all right, they'll just go ahead and wrap this drone back towards the outer area again as Vicento and crew continue to body stack for the boys of Cloud9. 2.5 minutes into this game, we have a 1-point lead for Rise.
And Ricky trying to use the ship here to find some easy gunfights as they're looking to push out of their base, but now as they cut across and he drops, it's all going to fall to Assault. He is down. That's 4. Yep. Cleaned out at home. Rise Nation now looking to secure mid-map, try to push forward here, get some more points on the board.
This is the right idea. They send 4 through ship, but 2 players charging on up, one of them being the drone. You need your player that's sitting in this top ship area and Felony to be someone pushing up as well. They now have players coming off spawn. Cloud9 can hold this position forever as they will respawn and supplement this side quicker and quicker, but it does look like the slaying slowly going in favor of Rise Nation. They're inching up the map ever so slowly. And I guess the silver lining there for the side of Cloud9 is the drone resets to middle, so they actually don't have an opportunity to go for a 1.
They haven't been able to get really any more offense going. Jeez, he just got eliminated there very, very quickly. But Looney, we saw him in this position early in the game, just kind of, well, see ya. He's going to drop off the map, and now with 90 seconds left for the first side, they're trying to hold on to a very fragile 1-0 lead, spraying everything but the opposition. It's Ricky that ends up picking up a 2-piece, and now you have Looney all by himself.
Perfect play.
Exactly, you have the drone. Get out.
Get to the wall run.
Dance. I thought he was going to go straight for the wall run, but he's just going to toss it off. Okay. He could have delayed a little bit more, probably.
Yeah, but either way, he does get exactly what he needs to do, which is get the drone away from Cloud9. Don't give him a chance to score. Vicento, what is that? Wins the gunfight versus Assault, when Assault basically only his head can be seen. 13 and 10, leading the game in kills right now. 1 minute remaining on side 1. There's a second. Vicento commanding middle map control. This is his area, Cloud9. Do not get it twisted.
Yeah, he's on another level right now, and if he keeps playing like this, this is going to be a 3-0 grand final. He's leading all Slayers with 14. He's inside of research, trying to open things up.
Angle.
It's just him really by himself. Yeah, got caught flying around. Maybe a little bit too much confidence right now coming in from Vicento.
Yeah, I think he thought they weren't going to be in that back construction area already. Nice shots by Looney, and every time Cloud9 want to move up, it seems like someone from Rise Nation is just there holding the lane they're expecting to be open. When your engagements are going down inside blue, you don't think Looney's going to be in ship already waiting for you. Aches with 2 kills, though. Might stop this pressure for a moment. Aqua wants this one. He's going to go up for it, throws it out, and misses wide left.
Just barely misses. Love that new drone cam. You can see this going a little bit off target. Looney, he almost had kind of a 3-piece there, sliding inside a research, or maybe he could have come up clutch, but that's going to wrap the first half. You talked about it being low scoring.
It always
is.
It's
1-0 Rise Nation. Vicento giving the speech right now, boys. 1 half, 5 minutes left, and we are champs.
5 minutes until Rise Nation can claim that title. So many people were wondering, when the 3 old members of this team left to join another organization, is that the end of Rise Nation being a top team in competitive Call of Duty? Roger had faith in Looney to rebuild this squad. They take the 3 players on over from Elevate. They rebuild this lineup, and right now they are looking solid, the most consistent team this weekend. They're 4 minutes and 37 seconds away from being crowned champions, but Cloud9, they're only 1 possession away. So 1 4-dead full wipe can be enough to get a dunk and a score.
Well, Ricky was able to pick up a couple, but just as I say that, really the entire team ends up getting wiped. A little bit of hot potato there. Lacefield can't win it quite yet. Finally will find the kill.
But here it is.
Looney up by himself for Rise, and this should be a pretty good opportunity now for Cloud9 to maybe get a 1-point opportunity, but they have to find a couple of kills to at least push forward. Aches looks like a maniac in there. He finds 1. That's another 3-down situation. They haven't really moved it forward at all.
Yeah, and Felony's just protecting the drone right now. Not even picking it up, just waiting for it to reset. Ooh, Salt with 2. Good use of the flechette, but guess what? It resets towards middle, and now I want to see how Vicento plays this. He does charge in towards ship. Rewind gets used, and they will stay alive. So Cloud9 still with ship control. 3 minutes and 45 seconds now left. Still a 1-point game.
And this has been, God, this makes me think back to the Aches 100 Thieves team, where we would talk about the fact how few offensive engagements they would have.
Far up? Aches gets all the way up the map. They've now got the lead blocker they need. Lacefield trying to sneak by. Does he settle for the 1 or go for the dunk? Cloud9 take the lead. As I said, they just need 1 solid push, and they finally get it. And now Rise Nation, what, 6.5 minutes of holding onto a 1-point lead evaporated with 1 solid play.
As long as Ace can keep holding here, he's going to be in a nice spot to open things up, throwing grenades at his teammates at the wall. I don't know, but Felony ends up picking up 2 to clutch. But I was just about to talk about the lack of offensive opportunities for this uplink team in Cloud9, but with it being so low scoring, you don't need many, right? You just have to capitalize on the few that you get.
And here's the thing, side 2, Cloud9 has started to take over in the slaying. They've been controlling the map positioning. They've had a better pressure inside the ship area. How do Rise Nation stop this right now? They need to get 3 dead, clear out their base, because Lacefield is on a 4 streak, now 18 and 15. Assault has begun to wake up, and Aches has been the rock throughout this entire map. Finally, Lacefield is cut down. The drone will be reset. 2.5 minutes remaining.
Tried to get around the edge and maybe get a long distance 1-point throw, but the opportunity is not there. But still, a one-possession game. No one's been able to open this up whatsoever, but it is Ricky now kind of getting in behind a little bit, trying to play that Aches-like role that we saw, but with him not involved in the action.
Does he pop overdrive here?
Is this going to allow him, to get back?
Yeah.
He hasn't yet. He might need to, but no, his teammate's coming up clutch at home. It's Vicento that's still here. Maybe a one-point opportunity. Tries to line it up. The interception is good, though.
What'd I tell you?
As they hold strong, it's so hard to get it through. And that's what I was trying to say. Like, they encompass the entire uplink, it seems.
But it's more that they know the exact angle they have to be at. They hover right in front of it. Beautifully done, man. Nice interception. Keeps the lead in favor of Cloud9. 3 do go dead, and now you've got to begin to wonder.
There's no one back by mid-map, so they're still going to be okay. Assault in a good position.
Okay.
I thought that might be something that can punish them a little bit, but that won't be the case.
No, and I'm liking so much more that Cloud9, because they're getting this map positioning, they're holding angles more. They're playing the long game. They're playing the smart game. Assault, again, reading every situation perfectly. The drone being moved up, pass forward. Now Aches has it. This could be the dagger right here. They have one player to get past. Whips the beat down. Lacefield's there, though, to help out. They're so close to scoring this final one. There's a dunk, 4-1. I just don't see how Rise Nation come back now. We're going to see ourselves a game 4.
Yeah, that's how it's looking. We were way off base. You thought this is where it gets closed out with the lackluster play we've seen in uplink, but
going to the half
now.
Going to the half, the slaying was even. Right now, all 4 players positive from Cloud9. It's as simple as that. They have destroyed Rise Nation in slaying, winning engagements over and over. And Vicento, who was white hot inside 1, now 23 and 25.
Yeah, falling off a little bit while Lacefield and Ricky have come alive here. Well, really the entire roster kind of sitting at positive even. Right now. It's been everybody.
It's Cloud9 are outslaying by 20 kills.
Yeah.
It's not even close anymore.
All right, well, let's see what they're able to do. 20 kills. That would be insane. But they do get one more on the board. Do you have a chance to maybe, what do you have here? You have camo. Okay, all right, hold up. You have camo. He needs a little bit of help, but if he can get this drone, pick up 1 kill, Vicento clutching again. If he found a second there and clutches mid-map and somehow makes that play, there is the overdrive, though, trying to wrap the edge. Can't get it done, and we're seeing a game 4, baby.
Yeah, we definitely are. Everyone there from Cloud9, they'll now pick up the drone, move it right towards that lower wall run, and this game is done. 4-2, Cloud9 take it. We're going to a game 4.
How impressed are you with the resilience of this Cloud9 team? They always push the game 5s. It seems the only time really they haven't was the first time they matched in the winners bracket final where it ended in 4.
Their absolute worst game mode, they wind up winning it, and now they'll go back to hardpoint where this team just always seems to know how to force a game 5. They just always seem to have some trick up their sleeve to make it happen. The trick that time was the slaying power of Cloud9, especially inside 2.
It really, really was. They came alive when you needed them to. You can take a look at the stats here and see everything. It's just very telling when you see especially Aqua and Looney both sitting with -6, -7, and everybody on the other side of things basically going positive outside of Eggs, which he was down to the final kind of 30 seconds. What changed? Is it the map? The fact more OSAs were on the ground that kind of helps this Cloud9? So what changed for you? Was it a light switch?
It was. You could literally see the difference inside 1 and inside 2 with the pressure that Rise Nation put on. Cloud9 inside 1, fighting on the back foot. Cloud9 inside 2, always the aggressors. This isn't my role, though, to break this down. I know our analysts have some things they want to say about this one.
Oh, we're going to say a lot of things. Starting with you, TP. Let's break down this game number 3. Lacefield, again, this is the second time in a row. He just did it in the losers final. Now he's doing it here in the championship match, turning it up in the second half of an uplink. He tops the scoreboard, and Cloud9, after losing basically all of their uplinks on the weekend, is having a pretty good championship Sunday when it comes to this game mode.
I don't know what sort of sparks with these guys in the later half of an uplink, but Frost has actually been statistically their best uplink throughout the tournament. I think they have 1 or 2 wins on it throughout their other matches, but the fact that they're just staying alive is impressive in itself. I thought it was just going to be done and dusted after that search and destroy. They had an advantage in that one, and the fact they were able to pull through, keep their composure overall after a tough loss like that. It's good stuff.
I thought this series was going to be a 3-0.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Cloud9 blow the search and destroy, I was like, there's no way they're winning the up.
We took off our headsets. We were so sure that Cloud9 was just going to roll over and die. We figured Rise Nation, the clutch round 11, Vicento winning that 1v1, that was just going to set the tone. And when we saw Rise with the lead in game 3, we figured it's all over. But Cloud9, they got the veterans. They also just have 2 youngsters who are never going to give up. I'm still so impressed by what Lacefield and Assault have done for this team. This match is far from over. We are going to see another hardpoint coming up. That one's going to be on Breakout. And when you look at these 2 teams coming up next, Matt, who do you give the advantage to? Rise Nation, they reverse swept Cloud9 the first time around. Will they be able to handle this loss?
Yeah, we saw Cloud9 play FaZe tough on this map. They end up losing it towards the end. But I don't know. It's kind of difficult because you look at all these maps. They're so close. The Retaliation Search and Destroy probably should have went towards Cloud9. I mean, they play that map kind of another 3 or 4 times. I think Cloud9 probably takes it. They were in control the entire game. Frost uplink, Cloud9 comes to life. I want to say Rise closes it out, but I'm like not exactly too confident on that. Like this Cloud9 team is like, they're so frustrating because like every time it's just gone to 5, gone to 5, gone to 5. It's like this time it's like, okay, they lose the first 2. There's no way it's going to happen. It's like, we could be looking at another Game 5.
I have the blessing of the Game 5, round 11. So blessing, curse, depends on how tired you are. But I'm hoping we see that Game 5. And if you're a Cloud9 fan, you are hoping that, of course, they can battle back in this hardpoint and then force a second series with that Game 5 victory. If you're a Rise fan like this man who's been yelling Rise up all weekend long,
nothing's even
you're
happening.
Hoping they can shut it down now. You can't let them get to another S&D. You can't let the momentum swing back in their favor. So, as we look at this breakout, who is the player to watch from Rise? Facento can't be the only guy.
We've been looking at Facento for almost every one of these games. MVP-like performance already. I think it needs to be probably Aqua. I think he, you know, when you look at the counters, Assault's that player on Cloud9 that's going to be the one that steps up the majority of the time, and the counter that guy is going to be Aqua. So if he has a good performance here, I think they will lock it down and close out this grand final.
Yeah, Facento's been strong all tournament long. I think if you're looking for one player that can kind of explode for the side of Rise Nation, really just kind of end this series as a whole, I think it's got to be Aqua. On the side of Cloud9, I think you need a good game out of Aches yet again. Yeah. And I think you need the young guys to come to life, which it seems like at least Lacefield is in that last one.
Aches definitely going to be my player to watch. He's been a pretty solid performer for them at the start of this series. They were able to get the game number 3 victory. And this guy, he announced it before the match. He's hunting for his 20th title in IW. He wants to reclaim the title as the greatest player in Call of Duty history. Currently, most tournament wins, that belongs to Crim6 from Optic Gaming.
And it's funny, me and TB were joking around in between game 1 or 2, and we were like, oh, like Aches kind of like got Facento his start because when he got suspended for a little bit, he was the sub for EG.
And it's funny, in Advanced Warfare as well, through the wonderful Optic Nation struggle. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that was fun.
So
we've all tried to forget that.
Fellow was my sub in AW. So some previous subs on some of my other teams in the MLG Pro Leagues in a grand final.
I was going to say, do you give Aches the credit for bringing on Facento and Felony, or is this all TP, bringing the new members of Rise Nation to light early on in their career?
Facento is definitely, I'll credit it to Pat.
Okay.
I don't remember what happened in the AW, but Fellow is a beast.
It's a good decision.
He's a beast.
The kid is shining. He is definitely becoming a star. I saw him signing autographs earlier. He was kind of mobbed after their last match. Keep your eye on Felony for that Rise Nation team. On the other side, Ricky, the old dog. He's been around forever. You've seen him wear so many different jerseys in the Call of Duty scene. He clutched up for them last night in prime time. He won the Game 5 round 11 that we all remember. And he has been an on and off performer though in the respawns. How do you get Ricky going in another hardpoint game?
He's kind of like a player like I was on this team for Cloud9, a little bit more passive, going to be more up close and personal, getting that objective time in the hardpoint most of all. So what I think he really needs to do is just focus on himself and rely on his teammates to look over him a little bit more and just try and get as much hardpoint time as possible. Just be that bait in the hill.
Yeah, look at him as TP 2.0, so to speak, right? I mean, when Pat tries to build this Cloud9 team, he looks for somebody like, some of his former teammates. And I think, Ricky, very solid search and destroy player, very good in and around the objective, can use multiple weapons, AR, submachine gun, whatnot. It's going to be ARs in this game.
Yeah.
But I think Ricky, a very valuable player to this team. I think it's going to allow, his play doesn't really allow him to, go off and put up big numbers, but his play allows, Lacefield, Assault, and Aches to just roam around the map and pick up kills.
We see our players back on the main stage. That means Game 4 is just moments away. When you look at this Cloud9 team, I want to know who is going to be that commander? Who is the in-game leader? Was it Aches back when you were playing?
Aches, 100%.
100% Aches.
Yeah, especially when I watch these guys practice as well. When one little thing goes wrong, you stop playing, the communication stop, and you hear that annoying guy Patrick Price in your ear.
I don't
until
miss
it's
it at
fixed.
all. I don't know about you. I don't miss that at all.
I don't either, I'll be honest. But it gets you better, right?
Yeah.
Matt, I've never experienced it. Hopefully one day I will when I return to the controller. For now, though, I'll let you play alongside Lacefield and Ricky as well.
They have
as
a pretty
Assault.
good chance with Lacefield and Ricky. I don't know how great they would stand with you in there, Chris.
It's a terrible idea. Never do that to yourself, Pat. I know you made some poor life decisions in the past. As you said, when it comes to making team choices, don't do it again. Well, we do have on the other side a very positive team, and this is honestly my favorite storyline. You watch Looney. You watch his teammates leave for Luminosity, who, by the way, didn't finish in the top 4 this event. He's left alone. He's able to pick up Facento. He's able to pick up Felony and Aqua, of course, joining this roster. And Looney is having quite a bit of success. We've known him for his Slayer prowess all the way back in AW. Black Ops 3, he shined. He had an off PSX, I'll be honest. It just seemed he was overwhelmed with the pace of the game. Now that it's slowed down, he's really shining once again.
Well, it seems like before PSX, speaking to some of these guys, they just did not put the time in to get to that top level. And PSX was a big wake-up call for them. I mean, they realized how bad they were at PSX. They went home and they scrimmed very hard. They put a lot of time into the new spawns and whatnot, and you can see it paying off here.
Especially with the combination of Looney with Facento, both sort of in-game leader style of players. So having both these guys, there's times where I'm sure one of them takes over in a particular game type or situations overall, which is cool to see.
Gotta appreciate teams where you have a number of players who aren't afraid to take charge, to command the troops, to speak up, and to correct issues when they see the problems. For Rise Nation, it's going to be Looney and Facento, as we touched on for Cloud9. It's going to be led by Aches, but Ricky as well will be chiming in. Game number 4 is just moments away. We're going to have our rig draft on our screen. Mr. X, start us off. What are we seeing from Rise?
You're going to see pretty much standard. I mean, they're going to have Overdrive instead of the Centurion that we talk about a little bit, but both sides going to have reactive armor, rewind, camo, and overdrive. Nothing too surprising here.
Previous hard points, we've seen Ricky on the side of Cloud9 take the trophy drone with the Centurion, finally switching over to overdrive. I think it's going to pay off for him.
That's going to be the big difference maker. It looks like the game is getting underway. Breakout game number 4. If you're just joining us, Rise Nation is on match point. Will they be able to lock up the Las Vegas title right now? We're about to find out.
Here we go. It's all the pressure on C9.
I'm ready.
Will they get wiped in 4 games like we saw in the winners bracket final, or will they go to their patented Game 5 that we found here at MLG Las Vegas?
This map, though, it has provided some of the most dramatic moments so far this weekend. One of the biggest blowouts I've ever seen in Call of Duty history. 250 to 222 with FaZe Clan over Splice earlier on. Don't think we're going to see that here, but you can see that both teams have the same idea. Put a player inside loading, try to challenge whoever is in this top middle control area. Right now, Facento last alive for his team as he waits for his teammates to come back up off spawn, as currently Cloud9 are out to a 10-0 lead.
And of course, he stays alive this entire time, waits for the help, finds a kill, doing an excellent job playing his life and just being a threat. He can't find the second there around the back, so let's go over to Looney. We talked a lot about these 2 guys in particular. I think you and I have been focusing more of the storyline of the 3 guys that came over from Elevate. Let's talk a little bit about Looney. Man, how good does this have to feel to outplace those 3 teammates?
I mean, he's now gotten a role that I think fits him much better. And when we talk about the changes that were made, maybe it was positive on both sides, because Luminosity, obviously, those 3 players saw something in Saints, and now the rest of the players from Elevate, they saw something in Looney, and I think it's kind of worked out better for both teams so far. As Cloud9 off the rotation, they do still hold the spawns, and it's actually Assault who was the player back there. He does get taken down, but I do believe the damage has already been done, as 3 players from Rise Nation are having to push this outer wall run. Not ideal at all. As, Lacefield does get the team kill there. Ricky with one of his own. Aqua now trading, as Facento will be the final player to push right on through.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Looney dropped in the back, I thought things were going to fall apart, but they kept flooding and flooding and flooding, and they were ultimately able to take it with about 20 seconds left here. Facento worried about the back, but let's get to the action actually in the front. Did some shots coming in from Aqua, then back to Facento, who has to deal pressure from the side door. 2 players almost lined up for him. You think he would find at least one of those, but not able to do it. Let's show some love to Cloud9. Let's see what the young stud in Lacefield can do. 6-3 right now on a 2 streak. He's going to be, well, I was going to say he's going to be grabbing the garbage time. How much did he actually, no, he lost like a second or two.
Yeah, Facento, the reason why there's even time there for Cloud9 is because Facento is thinking they're going to push for the spawns with only 15 seconds left, but that's actually not the right idea to have there. Yes, maybe you could have stayed inside to watch them, but instead he pushes on out, forces himself to have to re-challenge through that small door. Off the rotation, though, it is Rise Nation in control of Cave, which is the money area of the map. Assault, though, still playing from this backside, and somehow he snuck up this far. Thankfully, Aqua actually gets a pretty good spawn. He's going to have a perfect pinch and should be able to stop this pressure momentarily.
Well, I kept waiting for him to maybe try and push the back when his teammates hit the front. Did the timing seem a little bit off there to Cloud9? Like, as I saw Lacefield fly in, Assault was still kind of waiting for someone to flank around the back. Maybe he thought somebody spawned out?
No, it was just an awkward scenario. I think the big thing is because Aqua gets that lower dirt street spawn, they just weren't ready for it. Now 3 go dead. Rise Nation winning the gunfights towards the back area, and then Assault again. 2 kills, twice now. He's done it when rotating hills, where he's the player that stays alive, gets all 3. Assault single-handedly gets his team the win for these back spawns. The NV4, his weapon of choice.
Yeah, you want to hold this scanner helipad side. You saw one hitting the lower wall run. I think that was Facento, of course. He comes in and gets both. He keeps on doing it. The third in front, he hunts it down. I feel like he can do no wrong right now. Keeps going clutch for the team. 9-4 here, gets the big break. Holding off any kind of mid-cut push right now is his team. Is set up in commissary and starting to pull away with a bit of a lead. 30-point advantage will keep on with Bryce. 2 pushing through. Finally will fall. The Looney's there to back it up. He's going to drop. Felony, though, to trade it out. He has a Scarab to work with, but not really in a position to use it. But he's just finding kills with his gun. There's 2. Where's the third? He's in behind. He's able to turn and burn.
Cloud9. Jeez, that's something that shouldn't happen. You have 4 players flooding in, and you know he's in the one corner. Hops around 2, gets 3 before he finally does perish. At the end of the first rotation, it will be a lead for Rise Nation. Biggest thing standing out so far, Aqua and Facento continue to be the rocks, and Felony is just filling the role his team needs, and that's a player to be in the objective.
Well, before Facento finds one, he does drop in now. Let's see, Lacefield, fine was unloading. Nice shots there from him. There's a contest on the other side. He needs some help. He's just going to take it in his own hands. He gets the kill. Aches actually gets the kill, but he might be a little bit of bait there. But now, still racking up some time is Cloud9. Nice pickup from the back.
And on this hard point, loading control is so important to be able to challenge the player who's behind this rooftop. And you can see Rise keep favoring that side, but the gunfight that really Cloud9 shouldn't be winning is from this position towards that bottom loading area. They've now done it 3 times on this hill, which is why they've even gotten it any time. Outside of that, Rise Nation have played it better. There's an example of how you break that hard point with Assault getting that headshot. 93-85 the score. This game should be perfectly tied up with the rotation towards cells. Aqua all the way in the back of the map, ready for the pressure to come in.
Well, it's close. 1-point game, but now they'll rack up some additional time. You do have a Scarab here for Looney. He's watching the front. Let's get to the back as Aqua is going to get pressured here. 2 coming through. They'll take him out almost immediately, but to trade it out will be Facento. He knows there's a second player here. Shot's just a little bit off and not able to finish it up. But as the pressure comes in for Facento, he's going to drop as well.
You have Looney playing the top laundry window. They just run down the street. No one even sees them. Then Aqua caught in an awkward position, not ready for the pressure on that outer push. Miscommunications from Rise Nation, an ugly setup, and they get punished for it. Beautiful stuff from Cloud9 as they take back the lead.
Yeah, you may see a lot of time here unless they end up dropping outside of the hard point. 2 have already fallen. That's the third. Where do they get the spawn? They're still spawning in the back, so should be able to rotate back quickly. And as Assault stays up, you do see a payload get used. That's Aqua that hits his overdrive to try and maybe get a little bit of a juke on. Can't finish that final gunfight, though.
If I'm Aqua, I'm fine with that, because now we'll spawn up hopefully near my teammates for this new hill. Aqua's roll, pick up middle map. The rest of his teammates will be inside cave. Facento furthest pushed up, does wind up popping his payload ability. 118 to 122. Cloud9, they're going to pressure right on through. First player challenges with overdrive. He's cut down. Aqua, perfect accuracy with the NV4 as Looney will soak up this hardpoint time. So back and forth of these 2 teams in this game, though.
Well, Looney's going to be the man inside, trying to play safe, but going up over the top. That's going to be Lacefield with a sick kill with the OSA to shut him down. But inside, still Facento staying up, trying to find the kills. Melee going to be a little bit short there. Can't quite reach to pick it up, and now the break has come in. It's Lacefield and Assault that have some big kills. We talk about the Wonder Kids, and now it's 5 in a row for Assault. They clear out Cave, and more time coming in for Cloud9.
It just seems like the guy randomly decides he wants to start killing people in front of him, and he goes on a 5+ streak. It's his second one right now of this map. Both been around this Cave.
Yep, exactly. It's from the same position that he's done his damage.
Yeah, and now they'll begin the rotation towards Commissary. Rise Nation, I don't think they got as much time as they should have had on that hard point because they do miss some gunfights that they should have really easily won, or maybe just Assault out shooting them, to be quite honest with you. He will be the one still playing for helipad control. You can't expect him to do this time and time again, Maven. He needs some help.
Well, he might get his own help here as he's getting close to Camo and Trinity Rockets. The assist comes through.
There it is.
It would have been nice if he actually got that kill, because he would have been able to be even closer. These 20 Rockets, he get anything coming around the back, they're at range, and so he doesn't get to the Camo, he doesn't get the streaks. Falls just a little bit short, but Cloud9 still doing a good job holding Commissary. Hitting the lower wall run is going to be Facento again. Remember, he had a nice break with this last time, and there it is. Finds one before falling. We'll get back to Lacefield Assault, though they're trying to hold on here for Cloud9.
Yeah, this will be an easy hold. Cloud9 should get this scrap time, as they will go up by about 20 seconds, and they're already on the run for this loading control. They send 2 players here. What have we broken down on this map? Pushing through showers, pushing through loading, and being able to cut down the player on that opposite side of the top block in the hard point is the key to keeping this one from the opposing team getting a ton of time. As it's felony challenging. Assault's still there. The guy's on another 4 streak at double positive.
23 and 12. He has the Camo now, and yeah, like you said, working towards streaks one more time. Nade's flying in. He's really tagged up, but still managing to stay up before finally falling. Now, even though they have 2 people down, it's still Ricky tucked in his corner. He's the only one alive, and they're still picking. He got a solid, I don't know, 8 seconds or so there that he was able to pick up while being the only one alive.
He did, but this is the perfect scenario now for Rise Nation. They have this outer lane watch. The Flechette comes in. They're just trying to slow down Assault. They now have the Scarab also out, moving towards that middle lane. Looney just not ready for Assault to hit that high wall run, and now at this point, Assault should just push through. He should, yeah, there you go. Run right on through, play for the new spawn. He's got 1 player to beat. Does he use his Camo? This is such a perfect play. Making the smartest decisions. This young player, it gets me so excited to see where Assault can go in his career.
Well, if he can find Looney. Where's Looney? Oh, there he is. Now he's found you. Finally, he will get chopped down. So Assault finding a nice kill in the back. Him and Ake starting to come alive here.
I think this game's done right here. I think Cloud9, they have everything they can need. There's no payloads or streaks for the side of Rise Nation to use to break this. They're forcing the spawns out on that outer wall run, which we've seen has been a disaster. Lacefield has the reactive armor. Maven, I think we're going to another Game 5.
Well, don't say it too early. We've seen some wild comebacks, but maybe this is where the reactive armor comes out. He's getting pushed by several players outside on the wall run. He's able to see one. He pops the reactive. There's the second. They push him out, now just 25 points away as he's going to repeat. Re-challenge. Shredding everything is Lacefield, and he's 200 off the Warden. Streaks now coming in from the top, tagging everything. Hello! Not able to tag the wall run, though.
How many times have we seen Lacefield and Assault just put eggs in the backpack? The guy doesn't even need to get kills in hardpoint. His teammates do the rest of the work. Another 2-piece there. This one is done. Cloud9 force another Game 5. You could make a minute-long montage of the casters saying that this weekend. Oh my!
I think they've only had one the first time these teams played. I believe the only
and that was Game 4. That was Game 4.
Holy hell, here we go. They keep staying alive, and the reason they're still here is because they keep winning those Game 5s. Can they do it one more time? But that is the stats you want to see. Assault and Lacefield erupting. And to be fair, I mean, Lacefield does it at the perfect time. Assault had, I feel like, a couple big streaks throughout the course of the game. Lacefield just went nuts over the final minute and a half. And you saw he picked up, well, the reactive armor led to, I think, 4 kills. Then he gets, 1 or 2 with the Trinity Rocket, 2 with the bombardment. That's just, no one else was even killing anyone on his team.
I literally could see it all developing. I said it when they were at 200 seconds and they got control on the rotation. Once Assault uses Camo, kills Looney, who was trying to hold the spawns, that game was really done. They had everything else they could have needed. Hitting that outer wall run is a disaster. It has not worked for anyone this weekend. There was no reason to expect it to work there. Now we're in another Game 5. Well, Scorch, Search, and Destroy going to be the map. Remember, if you are just tuning in, Rise Nation need to win just one best of 5. Cloud9, because they came from the losers bracket, have to win 2. So even if Cloud9 wins this, they are not champions. We will restart with another best of 5 in which Rise Nation and Cloud9 will then battle it out again through Hardpoint, through Search, through Uplink, and a brand new series. But Cloud9 have to secure the victory first on Scorch, Search and Destroy.
And you know, Pat, he's been in a situation like this before. Wasn't it the first event, Columbus for AW? They had to come back in 2 best of 5s?
That's been one of my favorite points that was brought up on the analyst desk. They said this is very reminiscent. I think Mr. X brought it up. He said, Aches, first event of the year, starts off in the losers bracket, has to make a run on through. They wind up forcing the Game 5 in the first series. They do it again, and they take the title over Optic Gaming with 2 best of 5s at the AW Open with Stitches in his hand. Now he doesn't have Stitches in his hand. He's got
so clearly his hands are
arguably a better supporting cast. And now they're in the game mode.
What do you mean?
Them all this
You
weekend.
wouldn't take Doug Sensor-Martin over Lacefield? No, I wouldn't either.
No, I would, and I'm only saying that because I know Doug is here in Vegas, and I don't want him to beat my ass.
Doug, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's large.
Yeah.
Sorry, Doug.
He definitely
love
is.
you. Peace and love.
Peace and love. There you go. So Game 5, I would love to see the numbers right now because Cloud9 have to be something like 5-1 in Game 5s this weekend. It is what's gotten them here, and it will only be right that it's what forces the second best of 5. Not sure exactly what those maps would be if they get there, but I think it would be too early to begin to dive into those. We've got to focus on the present. Maven, for you, with Scorch, Search, and Destroy, you were talking on how this might not be your favorite S&D map, what you've seen this weekend. Why is that?
I guess the reason, since the bomb changed a little bit closer to the offensive side at B, it just becomes sort of this stalemate, right? At B for 60 seconds, and then maybe there's a wrap. I guess you see the least diversity in gameplay for me, at least when it comes to the bomb sites on this particular map. Now, does that play to
I will
something,
ask. I was going to say, does that favor a side now, in your opinion?
I mean, the one thing I know a couple times that we saw kind of counter that well from the defensive side, because it's really hard on defense, is good sniper play. We saw Reedy, I think I can think of Reedy, John, Formal, 3 guys that pulled out snipers on defense and made it a little bit more difficult. Or the other thing was someone like Royalty, and I think I've seen Facento do it, going up, kind of hitting that wall run at mid and going up high and catching the bomb planter was the other way to really shut it down. Those are the only 2 things I've seen that I can think consistently on defense made a very easy bomb plant a little bit more difficult.
I think it's a very offensive favored map now on Scorch. The big thing we've seen, though, is as players have gotten used to playing it more and more from defense, we've seen a little bit better strategy, a little bit better of an idea of where to expect the timings. Many teams electing to send 2 all the way through the flank, along that backside of the map, wrapping through those rocks
it's just tough
to try to stop them.
If you have one person that watches the flank, I feel like there's so many spots you can be kind of in those back rocks, right? So many areas for cover. Then you have cube you can dip into if you need to get away. But yeah, okay, so that's the single biggest thing here. I could care less about the offense. We know what to expect. It's going to be how the defense reacts and adapts over the course of this game.
We are about to get into it. There's your rig draft as players are selecting, getting ready to go. It is Game 5 of the CWL Vegas Open presented by the PS4. If Cloud9 take this, they force a second best of 5 and get their true chance at a championship. If Rise Nation win this, they are your champions of the first event of the CWL 2017 season.
All right, here we go, Jack. Game 5, baby, and we talked about the sniper play on defense. I guess I should have been talking about it on offense.
I think 2 players might have it. With the way you see the person hopping up and down on that box.
I don't think he did. I checked the spawn quickly before we got into it for Cloud9. I didn't see anything in their hands. But let's see what Aqua's able to do. Not able to find anything yet. Let's get over to mid-map. Is Facento there? It looks like they were getting a little bit aggressive. Now they've backed it up. We'll go back to Aqua and see what his vision looks like. Maybe he can catch somebody in ops deck.
Oh, lordy. God. There, if he holds that angle for a half a second longer, they wind up getting a first blood. But they're using these lethals to earn themselves some map positioning to begin to play around this objective. Aqua with the sniper. Doesn't see the player, whips the shot. Aches with first blood, but the objective is planted.
Aches with confidence looks for that one. And let's see, what do we have here? We different scopes than we're used to seeing on the MV4.
He's using the smoke strategy as well, which is actually really smart from him. Trying something different in the finals. Felony with 3 kills to his name this round in the one-on-one. He knows exactly where he is, but Felony gets the ace to start it off. He's immediately on his feet. Round 1 win for Rise, as we'll see it again from his perspective. Bounces up and down, and then That's the key in a lot of these maps. Not leaving your feet, staying behind that cover. Beautifully done by Felony, as Rise Nation will take the first off.
And, you know, Aches gets the first blood. You think he's going to be the one to maybe clutch up and make a play, but it is all Felony, known for his search and destroy repertoire. Let's see what he can do here. And the scariest part, look how close he is to Camo.
Already, yeah, after just one round. As he will peek towards middle. A little bit more passive play, just like last time. This time, Cloud9, the team on offense, waiting to see if they can get this first pick. Now, do you use this streak right early on if you're Felony? This nade actually might be perfect. This might be perfect. No!
Now maybe he followed up. Maybe he's so weak and somehow you can finish the kill. Could that be the case? He tries to get in behind. Has he gotten his armor back? He has it. He's going to end up dropping. Now 3 versus 3. Felony continues with the 5-0 streak. Might have a 6 in the back. It's the assist. Shots on point, though, for Fellow and Looney as they are running through Cloud9.
Stay alive, stay alive. You know where both players are. There's no reason to unnecessarily challenge. 3, 2, 1, and push should be their play right here. Looney with another kill. Felony trying to chase it down. 20 seconds left. They just need to go for the pinch. They don't actually have him spotted as of yet. There's one. Felony gets it. Go ahead, take the defuse, he says to Vicento. Oh, no, actually, no, he'll get it, and that'll earn him that camo. Get that streak. 6-0 start for Felony in Game 5 of the Grand Finals.
And I'll tell you that the Game 5 magician
fully streaked out.
It's been Aqua a lot of these games where he's been the one really coming up clutching these big S&Ds, but Felony right now, man, he is locked in. Destroying. You got the streaks, you have the camo. Guess what, Felony? You've earned it. We're staying with you, buddy.
And now Cloud9 know this. They know exactly what he has to work with. How do they play around it? They obviously Mars can use this to their advantage too.
Push through.
They can wind up using those streaks to force players inside. They can wind up using them to zone off a site and get a quick plant. I want to see either of those here, and already because it's so early in this game, pops that camo and actually gets tagged up because his teammate. That only happens because Aqua behind him peeks from the back drill, and he runs right in the same line of sight and gets weakened. A poor play might throw this round away if they cannot convert a couple kills here.
Yeah, it's like perfect play. Just ends up collapsing a bit. He shoots his gun, maybe jukes him out, but not able to do it. Now Looney and Vicento going up against the 4-man stack, but they are able to find one at least. That's Vicento coming up clutch. They saw him behind the bomb. Doesn't matter. Still going to be able to gun him. Now going to be a 2 versus 2.
Oh my.
Trying to find the kill. They're going to clutch this up. It's on Assault now to make a play in 1v2. 18 seconds left. Can he turn it into a 1v1? Not yet able to do it. They keep peeking. They're toying with them, and they clutch it up.
Rise Nation doing what they have to do, Maven. It's flawlessly played, even after the miscommunication. You know Felony nearly loses full when his teammate basically gets him killed with Aqua peeking there.
Yeah.
Just stay hidden, let your camo player do all the work.
But the round, he gets bailed out, right?
Yes.
And that helps because if they lose that round, maybe there's some complaining, they're attacking each other. Now you're not. Now you're still all right.
Who does he get bailed out by? Vicento. 3 kills that round. He was 0-1 off the start, now 3-1. He's still on that streak, slowly getting close to his payload ability. You've already had a camo used by Felony. Vicento about to earn one of his own. No one close on the side of Cloud9 outside of Ace.
All right, well, let's see. As this begins to develop, you may have a flank developing, but as of now, well, actually, let me look at the position here of Assault
Again,
as well.
look, they're just using these streaks to zone out their opponent. I don't want Looney to get overly aggressive. Ace does back up and earns the rewind off destroying the Scarab. 50 seconds left. Cloud9 have a ton of time to work with.
Nice shots.
First challenge, 5 and 3. The guy's lights out when it matters.
And there's one close corner. Hasn't been called out. They're pushing forward for him. Still able to take it.
Ace.
Now he's gotten 2. Working on the ace. You see on X-Ray, he's got a lot to work with, but he does have rewind as well. Shimmying this corner. Just hasn't seen him yet. The call it is he's right behind the drill. It's now just going to be on Looney, though. He's going to have to try and make the play. He's able to find one. Now going to be 1 versus 2. He did see both. He's going to hit him with a jammer. Might actually hit both. The shots just a little bit off.
Oh, he leaves his feet right there, and that might have punished him. We'll see it again from Assault's perspective. Hit dead on, but doesn't get overwhelmed. Nicely just done by him to cut him down.
No tack there. That might be a very different story.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Does help him out there, and 3-1. Now the round count led by the 2 kills from Aches to kick that one off. Felony, though, still has these high-tier streaks to use. This is such a similar story. Back to that Game 2 Search and Destroy. One team went up 3-0. Then there was a round where they began to claw back in. Seeming like we might see a replication here where that would be fine because we'd be going to round 11.
It certainly is possible, but now you have...
I say use it. I say use it. Get out with your life.
You have it on either side, but as his teammate drops, now maybe you save it for another day since you're already down in the round, but he's going to try to get aggressive here. Tries to push, has to back down now. He's going to fall. It's Cloud9 starting to come alive. Let's get over to Aqua's POV. It's going to be him and Felony having to defend this bomb. The streaks, though,
you're right.
Come in and try and clear stuff out as Aqua also finds the kill. May tag up a second inside, hasn't got it yet.
They can play around this next streak too. Remember, the bomb is supposed to be defused. They're gonna check it right away. Aqua gets one, and Felony with these streaks just has to run away with his life. 10 seconds left. He's zoning so perfectly. How do they keep doing it? A 2v4. I talked about those streaks, how it can zone the players off the site. And because Aqua holds that angle on the doors, they run straight into him. It's free pickings.
That's 2v4s now, right?
Rise Nation, this is an entirely different game. It should be 3-2 in favor of Cloud9.
Absolutely.
Instead, it's 4-1 for Rise Nation.
They keep coming up clutch when it matters most, and Felony still has the Scorchers to work with. So still a bit of utility.
Which is the best streak of all.
Let's go over to X because he's been leading the way for Cloud9. We've been on with him a lot, but 7 kills will get that. And you also do have the rewind. Trophy out, and this is where he's been winning this one-on-one fight in observation deck.
Yeah, and I don't think you challenge here if you're Rise Nation. You've got Scorchers. Yeah, Aches is ready for it. He's got the angle held. You're not going to win that gunfight. Time slowly developing as you can see they're trying to stay spread. They have Assault kind of far away from their teammates, one player all the way in the back rock. They don't want to get overwhelmed by these potential Scorchers that are used, but I think Rise Nation, the play is to wait until you see someone push up on the site and then use it. If they see Ricky Cross, which I don't believe they did, I don't know if Felony has any idea. This could be a missed opportunity. No streaks coming in. The bomb will get planted.
They'll get away. They still have trophies up in the back here to deal with. We go back to Aches' POV as he's going to keep putting shots in kind of across to the observation deck. He saw 2 cross. So going to get the call in for his teammates. Who's there with the other angle? That's actually Assault holding the right side. So him and Aches have a nice bit of pressure here. He's able to win one. He has overdrive for some reason. That comes into play. Not able to gun the second, but Aches there maybe to make the play. Can't challenge that fight, though.
He still has rewind, a second kill now for the side of Rise Nation, but time is so low. They have to flood on through. Assault gets challenged. There's one player there. They lose the gunfight. What is this? What is this right now? Cloud9. These are the maps they've won the entire weekend, and Rise are just winning 2v4s, 3v4s, making it happen.
I believe it was reactive armor that came into play there, right? Reactive armor from Looney kind of on the site that helped him stay up there.
I mean,
I believe that was the difference maker. You see that flash, that ping of the player.
They all just win their 1v1s too, which is the big difference. I mean, 5-1, this could easily be Cloud9 up by 2-3 rounds in this game.
No, there wasn't used. I thought that maybe he seemed to survive so well there.
I mean, he was just behind cover. I think a lot of the bullets were
you're right. I was
hitting the site.
Yeah, I was thinking reactive armor came to play, but he still holds on to it, so things getting very, very scary.
And go to Felony for a second.
Sure.
Still winds up having those Scorchers. Doesn't panic and use it. They could have backfired in a scenario like that. Now, Rise Nation just need to clutch up one more round, and they will be your grand champions. And look at the play they have. They're going to bait out the pressure, and Vicento is in the perfect spot to get this first blood.
Surprise!
There it is. 1, 2. Vicento wants this championship. Now 8-3. 2 more players have been spotted. It's a 1v4. Assault, the last alive. Does get one, and he'll back on up.
If he gets 2 more, I mean, maybe he gets closer to this camo. He has 40 seconds to work with. Never been more pressure on Assault to make a play. And he's able to catch him actually planting the bomb. Now can he clutch on one more? He's able to win it. Now going to be a 1 versus 1. He sees him. He's trying to challenge, whips around, loses it, but almost insanity. Whew. That was a fun one. You see the guys getting together, rejoicing as they're going to begin to move over towards the trophy. What a remarkable win for this young squad. And there you have it. Rise Nation are your 2016 MLG Vegas champions.